Thanks everyone, great to be here. I'm going to be talking about how to use building blocks in guerrilla marketing to go to market quickly as a video game developer. I work full-time as a product marketing manager for solutions at HashiCorp. Before that, I was at Twilio, and I also have worked at Salesforce and MuleSoft. Before I got involved in tech, I was a full-time game developer throughout college. And so I've launched in my career over 10 different games and applications. Those games have acquired over 500,000 paid downloads on multiple platforms. I've launched on mobile, I've launched on tablets and consoles. I was doing game development all the way back in 2010, back when like the Kindle Fire and the Nook launched. And really what I would say fueled my success was marketplace SEO and also YouTube. So I created games that YouTubers really wanted to engage with and what they found entertaining, and that's what drove sales to my video games. And so I think when you guys are thinking about your video games, what can you do in your games when you're doing these things with game design to make influencers want to talk about your video games? So on average, I averaged around $60,000 a year when I was doing this starting in 2010 in gross revenue for about 7 years. And this is when the landscape was transitioning. I was doing like paid downloads, so like 99, anywhere from 99 cents to $4.99. But right now in the current landscape, it's a lot more difficult because it's all free to play for the most part. So it's really hard to break into this saturated market. So a lot of the advice I'm going to talk about in this presentation is how to do that as an indie with really no marketing budget. So I would say the most important thing is that time is really one of your most important assets as an indie game developer. So a lot of developers, what I see they get caught up on is development. They try to add more features just to try to add more features. And that doesn't necessarily result in more revenue like on the launch date, right? So also a lot of people, they want to build it yourself. They want to build their own game engine. They want to create everything from scratch. I just personally used existing libraries and assets because I just found that it was a lot quicker. Time is really your most valuable asset. Spending more time on development than marketing, I would say the rule of thumb is really you should be spending 50% of your time marketing, 50% of your time in development. If no one knows about your video game, how is anyone actually going to be able to play your game, right? And you have to know your audience. Indies, they think that their game is this revolutionary, insane title that everyone wants to play, but you really need to do market research and you need to see what type of game players want and what are the current industry trends of the type of games that are trending on different social media networks. I would also say pricing is really important. So indies, sometimes they make their games way too cheap, or they make them free or too expensive, right? And so you need to understand your pricing on your release platform. So depending upon if you're on console or you're on mobile, you need to tailor your monetization strategy to that specific device. And I would also say another big mistake is releasing on the wrong platform. So right now, I think the console markets and VR markets, they're a huge opportunity for organic visibility as an indie. And you need to make sure that you're developing your games for the markets where you can monetize. And if you need to work with a publisher, I'd recommend doing it. Give them a split of your revenue so that way you can make as much money as possible, as quick as possible. So some of the things about building blocks to go to market quickly. So what I did in my games is I implemented email buttons into my applications. So whenever I'd release a new app, I would tell my existing fan base to go download my new game. And what I did is I used services like Twilio SendGrid, right, to maintain my user base as a CRM. So what I would do is in my app, I would have like a promo code option. And then what I would do is I would basically collect their email address. I would send them a promo code, and then they would be able to enter that promo code in my new video game. And that would incentivize them to go download it and go purchase it. So I was able to basically capture a user base, and every new app I would release, I would just continue to market to that fan base and give them these promo codes that would unlock some collectible in the next title that I release. And also with the Unity Asset Store, so I would, as a developer, I didn't have a lot of experience. I was teaching myself how to code, so I would just go find assets and templates on the Unity Asset Store that I could use. And from a development perspective, this saved me weeks of development time, which I could then spend that in turn marketing to have a more successful game. Also, my web experience, it really, really matters. So I use a CDN like Netlify to host my website. When you're hosting your website on a CDN, Google prioritizes it because it's globally distributed and localized into whatever region you're at. So you just want to make sure that whatever you're doing on your web presence, you're going to hit the top of Google when people search for a common keyword. And I also used Ahrefs for SEO keywords, which I highly recommend that site. It's like a free tool, and you can basically make sure that you're capturing all of your Google search traffic under your game title. And then I personally like to use a cross-platform SDK. So I use Unity. It gives you the flexibility to release on all platforms, and I just think there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. Like, you can create your own game engine, but I think that using a cross-platform SDK helps you go to market quickly. Go to market more quickly. So in terms of guerrilla marketing, some things that I did that had that were really successful was I sent out physical goods to influencers. And so what I basically did is I created these like gift boxes. So I released a game called Meme Run. I created the original on the Wii U. It went super viral. It was like the number 6 like best-selling game on the console, which it was just ridiculously, it became super viral and popular. And then I released Meme Run 2 on Steam, and basically it's an endless platformer where you basically have to dodge these like crazy memes that pop up, and it's like really annoying and obnoxious. Like, if your mom or dad were to basically see their kid playing it, they would just get so annoyed because there's like screaming and just like annoying things that pop up. So I basically made the most obnoxious game I possibly could make because I knew that kids like that sort of stuff, right? So then what I did for the YouTubers is I sent them gift boxes, and I basically created these gift boxes. I think you can see on the right, like I memed it, like it was a 6x6x6 box, so 666, right? And then I got the Meme Run tape, I got the stickers, and then inside the boxes, I sent a CD that had nothing on it, just as a joke. I sent stickers, and then I sent a little can, or like, what is it, like a little bottle that had Meme Run bathwater. So it's like, Bella Delphine, there's that whole like meme where like she sold her bathwater to like these simps. So what I did is I basically just sent that to all these YouTubers. So I sent out, I think, like 15 to 20 boxes. It costs around like, I don't know, $800 in my own money to send all these boxes out. But out of all the boxes I sent, to the YouTubers, about half of them actually created videos of them unboxing it and then them actually playing the game. So that was a really good ROI on investment. And that led to hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, which then converted into sales and visibility for my game. So instead of me going and just spending, money on Google AdWords, I spent it on actually directly marketing to the influencers, which then resulted in, hundreds of thousands of views. So that's just one strategy, right, of something that you can do to get visibility for your game. Also, another thing I did is sent out a bunch of promo codes. So this worked really good for my first game. I'd get a 10 to 20% response rate. And so I would just send a promo code via email, or I would actually slide into the Twitter DMs of these influencers. And I'd basically send them a little pitch about like why my game is funny, or like why is their fan base, why do they care about it, right? What I would also do is I would find out who the influencer's friends are, and then I would send them codes and swag. So this is something that's interesting. Like, you'll see a famous YouTuber, they might have like 4 or 5 different people that they like to play games with, and those people don't really have a following. So if you send them the codes, or you send them the DMs, the odds of them getting it are going to be pretty high. And then if they play your game and they like it, then they're going to tell their super famous friend, like, hey, this game is super fun, and then create a video around it. So a lot of the times it's kind of like a bottom-up approach with marketing, is you can't go for the big person, you have to go for kind of the smaller fish and then kind of work your way up the chain. So marketing is really all about trends, right? You need to think about what type of game is popular right now. Every market condition has a different type of game. On iOS, there's different types of games. On Android or on the consoles, right? There's like these different genres, whether it's like a platformer or a puzzle game, right? So you need to really kind of analyze the market and see like what's really successful, and then think about, why would someone care about your game? What differentiates it versus all the other games out there? There's thousands of games, so why would someone want to play your game? And you have to think that the more time you spend in development, the less time you have to make money. So I really liked what you were saying about like, quick iteration, like you had a time limit, you wanted to get your game out, right? I think that that's something that a lot of devs, they don't think about. They'll just kind of endlessly be working on their title. But you shouldn't sacrifice the gameplay quality, but you should try to get your game out there to test it, to see if there's some sort of market fit. And then I think choosing your platform is really important, right? Platforms have different trends. And so choosing the right platform is really crucial to monetization. So when I got on the Wii U, it was pretty much brand new. There were only I think 400 games on the device. So when I released my game on the Wii U, it just got so much organic visibility at the time, and I was able to drive a ton of sales and a ton of revenue. And so there's a ton of new devices coming out every day. So how can you be that indie that's first to market on that new device? Maybe that device has sold 1 million units, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that 1 million units could get your game in front of 1 million people, which could result in hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue. So you just have to be thinking about that when you're developing and thinking about where are things going and what device can I release on to get visibility. I also created an engaging trailer for YouTube, and I put this on TikTok and Instagram. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to capture people's attention in less than 5 seconds. So I guess I have a couple minutes, so I'll just play the trailer.
You what, mate? We interrupt your day to bring you some dank news. Meme Run 2 is causing chaos across the world. We have never seen the stock market crash like this before. This game is mobilizing a mob of simps that are destroying everything. The banned Wii U game Meme Run has done it again. I repeat, do not buy this game. It's dangerous for your health. How could 2020 get any worse?
Warning!
My name is Big Man Tyrone. I'm a member of the Illuminati and also a Nigerian prince. To join our Simp Brotherhood, simply buy Meme Run 2 for $4.20 and join our Discord server. My review of Meme Run 2 is 8 out of 8. No bait, mate. Have fun!
Play as Illuminati confirmed. OK Boomer, Party Parrot, E-Girl, Big Fungus, or Internet Rapper. Visit memerun2.com to learn more and download the game.
I tried to make a game that was viral and a lot of fun, and I would say my biggest advice to people is in this current market, if you're trying to get your game visibility, right now TikTok is absolutely ginormous. There's tons of streamers right now. If you're scrolling through your For You page, there's streamers that are live streaming to the platform, and those live streams get pushed to all these kids' For You pages. So right now, if you're an indie and you're trying to get your game visibility, I would send your game to the TikTokers that are famous for live streaming. Get them to play your title on TikTok, and then your game will probably get picked up by a ton of kids. Because whenever I go to the grocery store now, I see a bunch of group of kids, and they're all with their phones out. They all have TikTok out, and they're all talking about the funny shit that they saw on their For You page. So if you really want to target that demographic, find a way to get TikTok influencers to play your game, and then either give them money, either shoot them $500 to get a week of playtime on their live stream, or I would put your money there. That's what I would personally do if I were trying to get my game popular right now, and I think there's a lot of visibility to be had. So I run a meetup group. A little bit about me. I got started in game development because I attended meetups like this my entire life. I've been doing this since 2010. And so I started a meetup group called SF Game Development. I've worked with Jet a lot in the past, and we've kind of collaborated on really engaging game development meetups here in the Bay Area. And so the group, it has over 3,000 members, and we're hosting an event next month on November 1st with Unity. So we're actually hosting an event at their offices, and it's around their Unite conference. So the CEO of Unity is going to be speaking at this event. So it'll be a really great opportunity to meet Unity developers and also meet the Unity staff. You can come in, you can bring your development questions, and they're going to have different workshops and roundtables and CSMs that are actually going to be there to help you work through any challenges or any questions you have around the Unity game engine. So this is going to be a lot of fun. You can register for free, completely free to attend on Meetup. So if you just search SF Game Development, it's there right now. So that's the end of my talk. I appreciate your time. Thank you. I'll start there.
So as memes kind of make their appearance, do you implement those into?
Yeah, so a lot of the really popular memes back in 2020 were all in the game. I haven't updated it since, but ideally that would be the strategy, right? Or I'd create another meme run game. So yeah.
You talked about like contacting these YouTubers, these influencers, sending them physical goods and stuff. How are you sourcing all this contact info and then like their second connections? You just
Like I said, 50% marketing, 50% development. So however long you're spending developing, you should be on TikTok, you should be on Twitch. Finding you got to do the hard work. It's a hustle, man. It's like going door to door, asking for walkathon money, when you're a kid. Yeah, I mean, I literally collected like an Excel document. I spent, weeks just like going through and finding the YouTubers that would consume my content, and then asking them for their addresses, and then finding their friends. It was just a lot. It's just a lot of fucking work, but it's worth it because it results in views and sales. So, yeah.
When it comes to streaming, like how do you think about what makes a game, especially for TikTok, is like vertical? So I'm interested in how you think about like embracing the fact that you want people to discover the game through streaming. How do you think about like having that impact in the game development process? Like what makes a game from a game design perspective so that people want to watch a streamer play?
Yeah, so I think what's really popular on TikTok right now is there's like these little like emoticons that you can purchase on the TikTok platform. I'm not sure if TikTok has a publicly facing API that you could potentially implement into your game to like detect like, okay, someone donated a grape, like what's going to happen in the game. But if there's possibly a way you can make a game that somehow integrates the TikTok API with like the actual interactions that they're having on stream, that could be a great way to incentivize people to interact with your stream. I think, definitely having something that's a vertical, like something that can be displayed on TikTok well, like how it's like vertical is ideal. So having two different orientations is probably ideal. But I think anything that kids would find funny, like take yourself back to 10 years old. What did you like as a kid? Like I love being annoying. Like I, in class was always disrupting people and being obnoxious. So I think that if you can somehow implement that in your game and make it something fun and entertaining that someone would stop and like interact with on their For You page, I think that'll be pretty successful. So yeah.
Yeah, important question on this blank CD. Did you actually burn nothing onto it, or did you leave it burnable?
Yeah, I left it burnable. Yeah. So people could put a virus or put like a keylogger on it or something like that. So yeah. Yeah.
I'm on your website right now, and right here it's saying, warning, this game may trigger seizures in people with photosensitive epilepsy. Potato computer is, and there are all these animated characters running around the warning sign. So my question is that serious, or is that part of the read that ass is kind of message of the game?
I don't know. What do you think?
Message I'm taking seriously. I was a high school teacher for 12 years, and I take all that shit seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of serious, but it's also like kind of a meme, right?
Right?
Yeah, so this is like the website. So I mean, even spending a lot of time, right, on like your web presence, I even sell bathwater on my website. People have bought it for $30 actually, which is crazy.
Bottled water? Is it tap water?
Yeah, it's just tap water, but yeah, it's on PayPal. So if you guys want to buy it, I'll ship it to your house.
Take a bath in it?
No. False advertising, yeah, but this is the website, so.
What are we talking for bathwater sales?
It's like I've made like $90, but I think making $90 off water is sick. It's on PlayStation 2, so I use the publisher to get it out on the PlayStation. It's $6.99 on the PlayStation, and then it's also available on Steam for $4.20. So yeah, you want to check it out. One more here.
Okay, so maybe possibly challenging question. Thoughts on, so you mentioned about making something that the kids want to watch their streamers play, right? What about balancing that with the idea of it also being something that they want to play after they watch the streamer play? Because I've heard a lot of stories lately, especially about people are there for their streamers. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence of people are there for their streamers and not for the game. And how do you make content that satisfies both of those departments?
Yeah. I found that to be 100% accurate with my sequel. That's exactly what happened, where I had some really famous YouTubers play it and stream it, and it didn't result in a lot of sales. So I completely agree with you. I I think at the end of the day, right, like any publicity, whether it's negative or positive, is good. At the end of the day, you're trying to target a very specific demographic who will buy the game. So a large percentage of the people that are watching the stream aren't going to actually be a buyer. So how I targeted buyers on the Nintendo Wii U was there was like a Miiverse, like social network channel. And so I interacted a lot with all the kids on the Miiverse community. And because I was like interacting with them and my Miiverse community was the top Miiverse community, that's actually what drove a lot of the sales for my game. A lot of the YouTube views didn't necessarily translate into actual sales, but I think here's the thing: if your game is fun enough and people like your game and they like watching a streamer, there is going to be a small percentage of that that's going to convert, and that's still going to be a higher conversion than you paying for like some digital ads or doing any other sorts of marketing. So you need to get people to talk about your game, and the best way of doing that is getting streamers or YouTubers to play it. I mean, I don't know if you have any other ideas on how to get it visibility, but that's really what it is. You need to have people talking about it. So, yeah.
I guess my question more just like how that influence the actual content itself of the game.
Yeah, I think like with anything, right? Like I think a multiplayer game or something that, multiple users can interact with and play with their friends is going to lead to more sales than a single player experience. Like this experience is very much like you play it for 10 or 15 minutes and you're kind of over it. I mean, just to be completely honest, and that's the type of game I made. As a one-person development team, like that's just what I had the bandwidth to create. But if I were to expand on it, if I could add more multiplayer components and like an invite your friend feature where there's some way to incentivize other people to play it, I think that would be a way that it would result in more sales. Or if you could like play with the streamer itself, like it was a huge lobby of like 1,000 people, and like maybe you have to like stream sniping is really popular where like people go in like a Fortnite lobby or like a COD lobby and everyone's like trying to stream snipe and kill them. Like what if you created that experience where the viewers can go and fuck up the streamer and like screw them up? That would be a lot of fun, right? So I think if you think about things like that would be a good strategy for marketing. So
Some ideas for me to run through.
yeah, I think that's it, right? Yeah, thank you.